Hello and welcome to another edition of the Aussie Ideas Man. This one's very different. This one, well, I'm going to hope to not do too many ums and ahs, try to speak properly, but it's very hard when I'm talking to a laptop screen. When I'm talking to ordinary people, I don't and ah. I'm pretty good and I'm pretty clear with my thoughts. However, things are very different when I try to make videos. This, of course, is just another practice. This time I'm not going to be talking much about Aptera at all. This is something that I've just noticed and I thought would be a good topic for anybody interested in what I call ethics. As we get around Brisbane, we keep an eye open for blocks of land that our son might be able to use. One of our three sons is a builder, and he does buy blocks of land and puts on them spec homes, builds the houses, sells them. He's self-employed. So we keep an eye out for him on anything that might be worth looking at. And at one stage we came across this quite often in Brisbane and around the suburbs, also around the suburbs, not in the city. Quite often people subdivide their land because new laws allow smaller blocks, and people who have large blocks and don't need them, they can make money by selling off half their block. And this is a case in point in this particular example. It's a block where the owners have subdivided their front yard. Their house was well back on the block, and so they just subdivided the front yard. And I've drawn a diagram of that yard so that I can estimate what sort of a house can go on it. That diagram should be showing on the left of screen at the moment. Hopefully, if I've positioned me correctly. This particular block had a sign on it saying that it was for sale and that this is the sort of house you can put on it. And they had a lovely picture of a two-story building. I think I might be able to bring that up here. Okay, there it is. Not only have I shown you a picture of a suggested sign, this is also on the website that is selling the block of land. They have this picture of this particular house, Horizon Lakes, and they have the floor plan on the website but not on the picture, on the actual block of land, on the advertised picture. But on the website I've taken the floor plan as well, and we might, if I can, I can't do it now because I'm sitting in my car. I'm not at home, and I just thought I'd take the opportunity while waiting in my car to make this short video. But hopefully when I get home I can be able to edit it and show better close-ups of these things. In either case, the reason why I'm using this as an example is because I don't think they should give you ideas of houses you can put on the land when clearly they don't fit according to my estimates. And I must say according to my estimates, but I'll explain. I'll go back to the drawing that I did. So if you look at the pink area, they are the exact dimensions, give or take 100 millimeters, the exact dimensions of the block in question according to the website and the picture, because there's a picture of this block on the sign in front of it. It gives the dimensions, and I've replicated them on this diagram, and that's the pink area. Then the red area just inside the pink is what I, as you can see, have estimated the building envelope to be. That red line from the bottom up, that particular line, is 6 metres, because in most cases you have a 6 metre front yard. The local council won't allow any less than 6 metre unless you can ask for some sort of waiver. But 6 metres is the normal. On the left side, it's 1 metre from the boundary, and I don't believe you get any more than 1 metre. I could be wrong, but I really don't believe you could get more than 1 metre. That is, you can't build a structure closer than 1 metre from the left boundary. It's probably west as well, it is, pretty much. Then on the right side, I've given 1 metre as well. And to be able to get 1 metre on both sides, you'd be pretty lucky. You'd need some sort of waiver. In any case, the grey area there is a driveway for the house behind, so you can't build on that. And on the back, I've allowed 2.1 metres. I don't think you'd get any more than 2 metres of building envelope limits. You couldn't get any closer than 2 metres to your back boundary. And so there's the red line that shows where you should be able to build inside this particular block, which is 385 or 86 square metres. Pretty small block. And an unusual shape, it's not rectangular. So now you can see that the block size is in the pink and the red is the building envelope as far as I can ascertain from my current knowledge of building laws, which isn't totally up to date. And then I've placed in the yellow the dimensions of the particular house, the horizon something or other, that they have pictured on the for sale sign out front. That's the dimensions right there. Now, if you look at it, there's no way the council will allow that house to go on this block. For a start, it encroaches well into the 6 metres that you can't go into at the front yard. It is too long, in other words. It's only set back 100 mil from the closest you can go at the back, and it's, by my estimate, about 1.5 metres too long. Then if you look at the corner, the bottom right corner, you'll see that it not only goes over the building envelope, but it actually goes onto the driveway. It goes past the actual block of land itself and onto the driveway. And I would estimate it does it by about half a metre one way, 300 mil the other, something like that. But in either case, it's past. There is no way in the world that this suggested house could fit on the block that's for sale. Now there's one other thing, and I took a photo and I'll add that to the video when I get home and edit it. And the photo shows that the block of land is extremely steep. So you have the problem of having to cut from the front of the house, because it's a flat cement slab that it's on. You have to cut at about less than 5 metres from the front if you get allowed, and from there you cut into to 2 metres from the back, but you wouldn't put the house up against a retaining wall, so you would have to cut almost to the rear extreme of the block of land and put a retaining wall in. If you look at the house beside it, there's a garage close by, and there's at least 3 metres in that garage height to the roof. And if you look at each, about where they stand, you would see that your retaining wall, which is very close to the house in front, I say the existing house, the house behind the retaining wall, actually, that retaining wall would be somewhere in the vicinity of 2.7 to 3.3 metres, on average 3 metres. That's a massive retaining wall. that retaining wall would incur an enormous expense as well. So there you see it. As far as I can tell, this block of land certainly isn't good enough for my son to buy and build on, as it's advertised. There is no way you can put a house that is probably about what people build in Brisbane. There's nothing oversized about probably the average house size that's built in the suburbs around Brisbane. Yet, while they suggest it can go on this block of land, by my calculations, there's no way in the world it can go on it. So now I'll make a reference to Aptera. I don't think anybody in their right mind would buy this block of land with the intention of building a reasonable house on it. Only people who would build something much smaller would buy the block of land. But there are 55,000 Aptera fanboys that I think would certainly not pass this opportunity up. So all you fanboys that have invested or pre-ordered an Aptera, by all means, snap this block of land up, build yourself a house. When I'm dallying with fanboys from Aptera, I always make it a point of being 100% ethical. And when I saw this, and I looked at it as a possibility for my son to buy, I noticed that there's a probability that this whole advertising campaign is unethical. Now, I'm sure people will figure out where this is. Certainly, they can ask Ownit Homes, the ones who suggest that their house can go on it, where this block of land is. Now, I don't like to claim something is even probably unethical without giving people the opportunity to justify their actions. And I would invite, if the people from Ray White or Ownit Homes who have this advertised block on 24 Rolanda Crescent, Springwood, I would like them to write in the comments any reasons why they can justify advertising that house on this block. There's also a second house that they've advertised, but it's equally as large and equally as impossible. Well, that's all from me this time. Gives me the practice of making and editing a video, which is my main aim. Till next time, stay safe.